I wanted to talk about different reasons why I journal and why you might find a place in writing in a daily journal, daily, weekly, by just however, whatever schedule you have. I should goal for daily. Does it happen daily? No. Sometimes it's like weekly. So, but my goal is always daily. But I'm going to show you a couple of things that I do for journals. So I when I travel, I have a travel journal, and this was a big trip. I went to Europe, and so the reason I kept this was to keep track of everything that we were doing, taking notes on the tours, just collecting and capturing information, holding on to all the brochures, pictures that we took, museums that we went to, just kind of keeping track of our trip. So travel journals, I think, are a must. How many times before I started doing this did I go on a trip and I was like, where did we go and where was that restaurant? I always know now because I always have a journal, and I need to label it, but then I label it, and then I'm like, when we were in Europe, we were in Italy, what was the restaurant? So I have this that I can refer to always. So that's one reason. The other reason is maintaining mental health. And to grab my journal and just write sometimes is difficult. So I like to use prompts. So I always have stashes of prompts throughout my journal. I have prompts on my blog that I could refer to. I always am throwing out different prompts and stuff on my blog, so I can always go back and look at the list. A lot of times I'll print off that list. I'll copy and paste it and print it off and put it in my journal, so I have a place to go and look at a prompt, and just because I know I need to write for a good mental health maintenance. And so just sometimes grabbing a prompt and clustering it and mind mapping, I guess, mind mapping it, and just kind of allowing those thoughts to flow. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to write about. Whenever I get a prompt, I'm not feeling it. And so I will take the topic, like this one was anatomy of my heart. And so then this sat with a bunch of pictures and images and no journaling. And then I went in and filled it in, and I'm like, oh, I should have left more room. But when I was doing this, I was just like, okay, this is boring. I'm not feeling it. But later on I was. Let me see. There's more of that type of thing where I just don't have. So here I wasn't feeling it. And it says the prompt was, my intuition lights the dark. And so then I just did visual journaling and added some words, but then I felt very accomplished. There's not a lot of words, but I did feel very accomplished, and I allowed myself to take my thoughts and my opinions and my beliefs and put them on paper, which is a big deal. That's a great contributor to your maintained mental health. So things like this may seem simple, but in reality, they're really big. So maintaining mental health using random prompts, that's just a good way to start. Brain dumping. So when I'm feeling something, I know I saw one here where you could see I was just so here's one where I was doing brain dumping through imaging. I needed to pack for our Italy trip, and I just didn't know what I needed. So I did visually, this is what I need to have. And it helped me kind of and just not hold on to a bunch of things. Here I was brain dumping because my grief was heavy that day, and so I thought I'll just do this and this part and I'll feel better, but I didn't. When I started, I couldn't stop, so I just kept going. Brain dumping, and I try to always, I have a system that I use for brain dumping, and at the end I always say what I'm grateful for in this moment. So whether it's grief, pain, joy, it always has a component of gratitude, because I feel like whenever I brain dump and I just unleash all this grief, anger, bitterness, whatever it is, I think I need to bring it back around and have the gratitude, not just in my life, but in this, what this taught me. So this grief today, what did it teach me? And that's what I end with. And that is also helps with maintain great mental health. Unleashing creativity. Like there are so many places in here where I'm drawing, I'm sketching, I'm mapping out, adding beautiful things. Let's see, is this the month? There's some of these months, excuse me, where I've just like was feeling all kinds of creativity. And so it just kind of exploded, and I had all these stickers I wanted to use. So visually it was just super. Here's another one where I was just kind of mind mapping, just getting that mind mapping and just letting some things out. And that was from a prompt, actually. So heart and intuition, and then mind, intuition, that kind of thing. And so I was mapping that out. I can't remember exactly what the prompt was. Here, like, what is intuition? I did this. This must have been a lesson. And here it says, fear is not intuition. That was a quote in the lesson. What is fear? And then talking about it. And I did mind mapping, because mind mapping is my favorite way to journal, actually. This, I mean, I like this, just like writing. This was in our Create What You Love, that class we did a monthly Zoom where we had a prompt, and here's the prompt, and then this is what I wrote. But I just adding the creative little places, like visually it feels good. Like taking the journaling and the words and then making it creative just sparks more creativity for me. So I like to use my journal in that way, just because it just feels good, and it just helps me unleash some things. Like I love whimsy, but I don't like it in my art journal. I like it in my journal, my writing journal. And so I just let my whimsical self unleash in here. And for whatever reason, when I try to do that in my art journal, I can get a little whimsy, but too much, and it just doesn't work. Here I am 100% whimsical, and I love it, and I have fun with it. I just enjoy that whimsical nature of just being creative. So this one was Anatomy of the Grateful Heart, and so I did that. And that's going to take us to reflecting. So reflecting on memories. So we're done with that. Let's talk about reflecting on memories. So I'll post a picture, and then I'll write about this picture in the center. So another I do a lot of mind mapping. But anyways, I'll start with an image, and then the memories will come out of that. Let's find another like a reflecting. There's images of my kids, so there's some reflection here talking about my kids. And when I reflect, a grief comes up because I'm missing somebody in my life. And so a lot of reflection sometimes will pull up grief that I just need to express. It just needs to come out. And so like here, reflecting on joy, like talking about it, hashing it out, like memories will pop up within those things. But let's find, so in here, let's go to this journal. In this journal where we traveled to Italy, I have a ton of photos in here. And reflection. So I planned out this trip in stages, and so every stage I print out itinerary 1. I just kept printing them out until we figured out exactly what we were doing. So this has a lot of just our planning, and then I added calendars so I could reflect back and see where we were and what we were doing, type of thing. So that, and I look at this journal a lot. Like I like looking at this journal, and I still haven't finished it, but I still peruse it. So I capture all these memories of these things. And there are things in here that are just really important that I wanted to capture. I want to say scrapbook. So they're like, it's a lot like scrapbooking, but you're capturing your memories and your thoughts. And it's not like, when I journal, I'm not really looking for it to be beautiful. I want to express myself, but that's not my main goal. My main goal is to capture my thought, express memories, be able to reflect on a moment that meant something to me. Like, I forget about this moment a lot. We were in Tuscany, and there was this medieval village that people still lived in. And outside, they had this monument. And this was all the people that village lost. It's a small, small village. Lost in World War II. They have this monument, and you can see where somebody comes every day and lays flowers, and then they throw them in the trash. So every day, someone is bringing flowers and laying them at this monument, and in the trash you can see the stems of the last. So, like, I just thought that was so beautiful how they honored those that they lost still. Like, they honored people that gave their lives for them. I thought that was kind of cool. Like, we went into this Italian cafe, and she's like, as we were leaving, she's like, if you want to, you can go downstairs. There's a cave down there that's been there since before Christ. And so we went down there, and like, I just remember it was so dark down there and musky, but all this moss was growing, and I didn't want to forget it. Just did not want to forget it. And so it's a good way to capture all these memories that you have. And not just with travel, in every day. Like, I have pictures in these journals have been worn. See, like, just memories. This is when we were in Mexico. This is my husband's favorite person. This is an old photo. This was the new one. We always see her when we go there. Her name's Gabrielle. My favorite person is Alfredo. I just love him. But when we go there, we just have a lot of fun. And so I like to capture the people, because we go back to this resort often. And so I like to remember their names. And a lot of times I'll be like, oh, what was their name? And so I'll write it down in here so that I can remember that. And capturing my just pictures of my family. It's just, and I go way back and pull old photos. Like, this is old photos, and I just pull them in here and just journal about them. It's just a lot of fun. So anyways, capturing memories and reflecting on memories and goals. Like, I'll set goals in here, and then I don't keep goals in my plan. I keep goals in my planner, but I also keep them in my journal, and I write more about those goals in my journal. So I process the goals. I process my emotions in my journal. In my planner, I plan. But in my journals, I process emotions. All of it. Even when I'm capturing my Italy trip, I'm processing emotions. Which takes us to this. Processing emotions and dealing with your emotions. Let me find the one that is the most raw. It's probably this one. Let's see. 20. Probably this one is the most raw. Yeah, this one is the most raw. You can see where I just kind of dump a lot of feelings. Any dreams that I was having, any emotion that I was having landed on this page, and I break it up into these little places, because a lot of times I don't want to write a ton. I'll write a little bit. Sometimes I fill pages and pages and pages. For the most part, I just want to release a little tension, or a little thought, or a little joy, or a little happiness, or whatever it is. And then I'll just fill that spot and then move on. So that's my goal, is to like fill, even if it's this little one, fill a little one every day. And so sometimes I just throw stickers on them, but I have journaled. When you set a goal and you can achieve it by doing little things, go for it. It still works. Here, like, I just, little teeny things, but a lot of processing emotions here. There are things in here that, like, just dumping all this emotion and dealing with them. And it's joy, and it's pain, and it's honor. It's giving myself a little grace. Just kind of doing it all. But this one is the journal that holds a lot of emotion. And it's funny because when I hold this journal in my hands, like when I grab it and just kind of hold it, you can feel that energy, like just by seeing, I already know what I was feeling here. And knowing that I was smart enough to grab a journal and dump it on a journal instead of someone else, I'm proud of myself. Looking back through all of my journals, I'm sorry, I get a little emotional. This one's emotional. This was the year my son passed away. But I'm proud of myself. And when I close this journal and put it away, one of the things that I always notice is that the sticker, this girl is on fire. She's not weak. She can do hard stuff. And my journal's how I do it. Maintaining mental health, so whenever things come up that are bigger than I am able to handle them and process them and rise above them. Journaling, like, these journals are my pride and joy. This isn't all of them, but it's the ones that I can keep on my shelves right now. I only keep a couple of years in the house at a certain time, and then I pack them up and put them in our storage for right now because we're planning to move. But these are my pride and joy. This shows me that I am a strong woman that can conquer a lot of things. And you can see what I've conquered because I look through it. Anything that I'm going through, I process my emotion through these journals. Processing emotions will make you stronger. When you bury them, they do not die. So you may think, oh, I don't need to process that. And then one day you're going to feel that other old emotion pop back up. Whenever I do this, those old emotions, for the most part, do not pop back up. I will tell you things like grief will pop back up. Happiness and joy will always rise to the top. You can't stifle happiness and joy. But when you have true happiness and joy, those memories will always go to the top. Grief, like, it's always going to be there. But you'll find out some of these things that you're journaling about just go away. You just needed a place to express them. So again, maintaining good mental health by processing your emotions through journaling is such a great way to move forward in this life. I do want to talk to you about a class that I have right now. It's the Heart of Journal Writing. We have 52 weeks of prompts. The class is broken up into 4 quarters. We always do 4 Zooms, but each quarter we have a book. So we do a book club Zoom, and we throw in sporadic little Zooms just to kind of hang out and journal and do those types of things together. There's tons of resources. And if you look in this journal here, there's like, in the class, you receive these downloads to help add color and beauty to your journal. So I give you resources. Like there's at least $90 worth of clip art that you get with this class just to fill your journal pages and make it easier. I also talk about all these different ways that you can journal that will help you on your journal process. I don't just throw you the prompts and say, there you go. We work through them. And each prompt has some content and reference that you can go to actually give yourself some fodder to write about. So a video or a music video or a podcast. Each topic has some fodder for you to grow off of. But anyways, I welcome you to that class. I will leave a link to that class, and I hope to see you there.